I want to do something a little bit different today. I want to talk about a Lego piece, but not just any Lego piece. I would like to talk about the objective best Lego piece of all time. Part 30385, Rock 1x1 Crystal 5-point. I think it's safe to say that this is one of the most universally loved Lego pieces of all time, and it makes perfect sense. It's just really fucking cool. It's got a nice texture, it's fun to look at, it's really cool how the light shines through it, and it looks undeniably really tasty. You might be wondering though, where did this piece come from? How did something so majestic come to be? How many colors was it printed in, and how many of those colors are still being printed today? Well, that's what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about my favorite Lego piece of all time, where it came from, how it's doing, and just kind of giving you an idea of all the different colors and what they were used in. I love this piece, I really do. That's why I own 155 of it, like a normal person. Why? Don't worry about it. How? I don't know, my dealer won't tell me where he gets it. So when it comes to the very first appearance of this piece, we need to go all the way back to the year 1995. Knuckles Chaotix and Mega Man 7 had just came out. Some other shit probably happened, I wouldn't know. But most importantly, this piece got its start in the Aqua Zone line. However, before we talk about that, there is something I want to touch on. See, I think most people know this piece for its transparent variant. And that's fair enough, the transparent colors are undeniably the coolest. However, we wouldn't get this piece in a transparent color until 1999. But if this piece was introduced in 1995, then what color is it? Well, I'll tell you. The first color this piece was actually produced in was a now defunct metallic color called Chrome Silver, which was last used in 2005. The Chrome Silver iteration of this piece appeared in 32 different sets, and while it's undeniably pretty charming, there's quite a lot wrong with Chrome Silver, and it makes perfect sense as to why the color is now discontinued. It's shiny and reflective to the point where it honestly almost looks a little bit out of place in my opinion, and that chrome effect is just painted on. It's not entirely made of chrome plastic, and unfortunately, that paint scratches off incredibly easily and looks awful when it does. When this piece first appeared in 1995, it appeared in 5 Aqua Zone sets, 3 Aqua Naut sets, 1 accessory pack, and then 1 Aqua Shark set, the Deep Sea Predator. After that, it was used quite frequently in the late 90s, but was very, very rarely seen in the early 2000s. In 2003, it appeared in this weird Legoland exclusive Swan set, and the Swan's wearing it like a little hat, which is kind of funny. And then it appeared in 2 Belleville sets in 2005, and was never seen again. Belleville was pretty notorious for having a lot of weird pieces and a lot of weird colors, but that was it for Chrome Silver. And while it's pretty inherently flawed, it's still kind of charming, and I do have one myself. After Chrome Silver was discontinued in 2005, we got 2 other silver crystals, those being Metallic Silver, which was introduced in 2008, and Flat Silver, which was introduced in 2011. Now, these look pretty similar. Lego has a lot of different variations of their metallic colors, and a lot of the time it's quite difficult to tell them apart, but they are different, I swear. Metallic Silver was introduced in 2008 in the Lego Castle line, specifically the Dwarves Mine set, which is a pretty cool set all things considered. The Metallic Silver crystal was released in 15 sets, with 9 of them being from the Arctic subset of the Lego City line in 2014, which was the last time this piece was seen. While Metallic Silver got quite a few appearances, Flat Silver is a bit of a strange case. This piece in Flat Silver only appeared once in 2011. Not only did this piece appear in just 1 set, but it was a fucking Cars 2 set of all things, which is just so strange to me, although, in fairness, it's kinda nice that something good came out of Cars 2, I didn't see that coming. With silver out of the way, we now have the gold versions of this piece, Metallic Gold and Pearl Gold. This piece in Metallic Gold was introduced in 2008 in the same set as the Metallic Silver one, the Dwarves Mine, and it last appeared in 2016 in a Ninjago polybag, appearing in 13 sets total. Now, surprisingly, the Pearl Gold version of this piece has actually appeared in more sets than any other colour, that being 43. Also, the pearl gold color of this piece is the first color that we've talked about that has been used this year, appearing in 2022. Granted, it was just in a Ninjago polybag again, and other than that, it hasn't been used since 2019, but still, it's something pretty cool nonetheless. There's one more metallic variant of this piece to touch on, and it's a bit of a weird one. This is the chrome green colored variation of this piece. It only appeared in 2 sets released in 1999, both of which were under the Spaceport line. Now, if you're looking to get your hands on this piece today, you'll find that this is generally the most expensive variation of this piece. It's fairly cheap used, but remember this is a chrome piece, so used condition might not be great because of the scratches. If you want to get one in new condition, then you're looking at around $20 for a single one. So yeah, that's why I don't have one. Now, before we move on to the transparent colorations, this piece was also produced in a single solid color, and that's yellow. Now, when I first found out about this, I assumed that it was like a substitute for gold, maybe in a smaller set that didn't have the budget for metallic pieces, but that's actually not the case. It's been used in 6 sets from 2014 to 2020, and in all 6 of them, the yellow crystal piece has been used to represent chips or fries. And I love this. I just think that's so cool. I love when LEGO does stuff like this and they use a piece that clearly has a very intended purpose for something entirely different. You'd love to see it. One of the most iconic examples of this is the alternate build for the bonsai tree, which is meant to be like a little cherry blossom tree, which comes with 101 pink frogs to use to represent like flowers or whatever the fuck. I love this. It's amazing. And it has happened with the crystal piece as well. It's not just the yellow chips example. For example, the trans neon green crystal has been used to represent lightning in a Ninjago set, and believe it or not, it's even been used to represent snot in one of the Mixel sets. But now, with all that out of the way, we can finally talk about the transparent colorations of this piece. And with that comes the opportunity for me to gush about the series that I would imagine most people associate the transparent colorations of this piece with, and that series is Power Miners. Although, we're not going to touch on that just yet, because there's a little bit of ground to cover before that. See, there are 3 transparent colorations of this piece that were introduced before Power Miners, and those are Trans Neon Green, which appeared in Power Miners, and Trans Light Blue and Trans Medium Blue, which didn't feature in Power Miners. The Trans Neon Green crystal made its appearance all the way back in 1999 in the Rock Raiders line. Now, I'll admit, for the longest time, I just kind of wrote Rock Raiders off as shitty Power Miners, but over time I've kind of warmed up to it. I don't own any of the sets myself, and I'm not really looking to change that, but my appreciation of this theme has definitely gone up over the years. At first I really hated the overuse of big chunky pieces, but I don't know, there's something kind of charming about it, and there's no denying that the yellow and teal color scheme is fucking fire. Like, that's just undeniable.
Rock Raiders even gave us a LEGO minifigure with a teal prosthetic arm, which is really sick. It's a really nice figure. I might have to pick one up myself.
One thing that really caught me off guard though is that the trans neon green coloration of this piece wasn't used a single time in the 10-year gap between Rock Raiders in 1999 and Power Miners in 2009. That was really surprising to me, because it's a pretty fucking cool color. Like, why not use it? But it is what it is, I guess. This color of the piece is also tied for the longest lifespan out of all the colorations. It was first used in 1999, and it was last used in 2020, although it's only appeared in a relatively small 29 sets. As for Trans Light Blue and Trans Medium Blue, they were introduced in 2001 and 2005 respectively. Neither of them featured in Power Miners, and Trans Light Blue only appeared in 2 sets before the debut of Power Miners, a LEGO Racers set and a LEGO Belleville set. As for Trans Medium Blue, it's had a significantly shorter lifespan than Trans Light Blue, but it's appeared in significantly more sets, 19 compared to 11, and it appeared in 3 sets before the debut of Power Miners. 1 in 2005, 1 in 2006, and 1 in 2007. The Trans Medium Blue crystal hasn't appeared in a set since 2018, but the Trans Light Blue one has been used this year, in 2 sets specifically, a Lego Frozen one, and a Lego Star Wars one. Okay, now it's time to gush about Power Miners, because we're getting to the 4 colors that were introduced through the Power Miners theme. Trans Red, Trans Dark Blue, Trans Orange, and Trans Green. However, while Power Miners did give us 4 new colors of crystal, they weren't all created equal. Trans Red and Trans Dark Blue have appeared in a good number of sets even outside of Power Miners, but Trans Orange only appeared in 1 non-Power Miners set, appearing in 5 sets total and hasn't been seen since 2010. Trans Green though really got shafted. Trans Green appears in 1 Power Miners set, and that 1 Power Miners set only contains a single green crystal, that being the Mind Mech. Now, on the bright side, it's a relatively cheap set, so you could just get more than one of it, but still, it's kind of a bummer. And even then, outside of Power Miners, it only appeared in 3 other sets. A Monster Fighters polybag, and then 2 DC sets, being used as kryptonite. The Trans Green crystal hasn't appeared in a set since 2012, and while there have been depictions of kryptonite since then, they've used the Trans Bright Green crystal, which was introduced in 2016 and is still being used today, appearing in 28 sets, which is pretty sad considering the green one only appeared in 4. Anyways, while we're here, I'm just gonna nerd the fuck out about Power Miners, cause like, when else am I gonna get the fucking chance to do this? This is my favorite Lego theme, like by a long shot. I love this shit. I mean, I've had a collection up there for like, I don't even know how many fucking vids it's been there. But yeah, I have the first 8 sets. I would love to own more, but like, the last couple sets that I'm actually interested in are either like expensive, really fucking big, or both. So like, I don't know if I'll ever get to that, but yeah. Anyways, here's some pointless Power Miners and Crystal trivia, because why the fuck not? So in the first wave of Power Miners, which was comprised of 7 sets, every single set contained at least 1 loose crystal as an accessory. 3 of them contained 1, 3 of them contained 2, and 1 of them, the Crystal Sweeper, contained 8. 2 of which were part of this little side build for the rock monsters, and 6 of which were just loose in the set. I know that's a pretty big jump, but it kinda makes sense considering that out of all the Power Miners vehicles, the Crystal Sweeper's function revolves around crystals the most. Like, it scoops them up and they end up in the little tray at the back, so it makes sense that they will give you a lot. However, in the second wave of Power Miners, which consisted of 5 sets, only 1 had loose crystals which were like accessories, and that was the underground mining station. And again, the function of that set revolves around crystals, so it kinda makes sense. As for the other 4, all the crystals included were part of the set's build. For the Rock Wrecker and the Cave Crusher, both included 3 crystals, but the instructions tell you to put all of them on the backs of these large rock monsters that came with the sets. Now in fairness, you don't have to do that. When I was younger, I just took them off. And in a lot of official renders, the rock monsters will only have like 1 or 2 crystals on their back, so, you know, it's really up to you. The Crystal King came with 4 crystals, all of which are used in his construction, and the Titanium Command Rig came with 5, 3 of which go on the back of the big rock monster, and 2 of which, strangely enough, are included in the construction of the Titanium Command Rig. I found this really weird when I was younger, but in hindsight I think what they're going for is that these crystals are like powering the Titanium Command Rig, which kinda makes sense. It's the largest Power Miners vehicle, so it would probably need that. Also, in fairness, the Rock Wrecker did come with like this small compartment which has these smaller different crystal pieces in it, but like, we're fucking adults, okay? This does not cut it. Absolutely not. Big crystals or nothing, okay? Don't insult us with whatever the fuck this is, okay? Next up, in terms of weird Power Miners trivia, we gotta talk about the Boulder Blaster. Now, the function isn't anything crazy, but I think the Boulder Blaster is my favorite Power Miners set. Like, yeah, the function is kinda whatever, but in terms of how it looks, it's amazing, especially by 2009 standards. This shit is really impressive. However, despite the fact that it is a first wave set, the Boulder Blaster is a bit of an outlier in that first wave. It was the only one of the 7 to be limited edition, which means that in the US it was store exclusive and everywhere else it was just slightly more of a pain in the ass than usual to find. Because of this, it wasn't promoted nearly as much as the other first wave Power Miners sets. Like, it almost never appeared in catalogs and there's very few official renders or artwork of it. It doesn't even appear in its own fucking manual outside of the cover, which is just so weird to me. However, what else is weird about this set is that it's the only Power Miners set to have 2 revisions. The initial release of the Boulder Blaster had a unique issue. For some reason, despite the fact it came with the blue rock monster, it included 2 red crystals and no blue ones. I do remember at the time a lot of people complained about this, so the second revision of the set, which was released a little bit later, came with 2 blue crystals and no red ones. Funnily enough, when I got the set off Bricklink and built it on stream, the set contained 2 red crystals and no blue ones, but the instruction manual says that there were 2 blue ones. There's a lot of conflicting stuff with the Boulder Blaster because of this. Like, the official render has red crystals, but the box art has blue crystals. It's kind of funny. It's neat, you know, it's not a big deal, it's just a fun little thing. Lastly, I want to very quickly touch on the final wave of Power Miners, the one from 2010, because something pretty strange happened there. In the final wave of Power Miners, they went, like, deeper underground, and they found lava and shit, and there were lava monsters instead of rock monsters. I gotta be honest, this wave was a bit of a fumble. I didn't like it nearly as much. They lost the iconic lime and orange color scheme for lime and blue, which, like, you know, that's not quite as good. And there were only 4 sets, and apparently they sold like ass, so that was probably a pretty big factor in why Power Miners got cancelled, which is a shame. However, to coincide with the fact that the miners were, like, fucking about in lava now, they introduced lava monsters in place of rock monsters. And one of them did something pretty interesting, and that's Combustics. See, unlike the rock monster counterpart, which was trans neon green, Combustics is trans yellow. So naturally you'd think Combustics would come with a trans yellow crystal, and if you look at the box art or the art for the manual, that is exactly what you would see. However, in the final set, Combustics comes with a trans neon green crystal, which, as you can see, doesn't look quite right. What makes this especially disappointing to me is that not only did Combustics not come with a trans yellow crystal in the Fire Blaster set, but we never actually got the trans yellow crystal. To this day, it's never been officially released, and that's a real shame. There are 2 listings for it on Bricklink at the moment, but neither of them come with pictures, and I gotta be honest, if I had to guess, I think whoever's selling them is just mistaking a trans neon green crystal for a trans yellow one. Like, it happens, you see it now and again, so, you know, it's not a big deal, but still, it's a bit of a shame. I would have liked to get a trans yellow crystal. So yeah, I like Power Miners, if you couldn't tell. But with that out of the way, there's 2 more transparent colors to talk about, so we might as well get into that. The next color is a pretty cool one, and that's Trans Dark Pink, introduced in 2015 and last seen in 2019. The Trans Dark Pink crystal has appeared in 17 sets, and I'm a real big fan of this one. It's just a really nice color. I don't even have any other pieces that are this color, but I don't care, I just think it's cool. The last set it appeared in was a Lego Movie 2 set, which, I'll be real, I kind of forgot the Lego Movie 2 was a thing, but yeah, there it is, anyways. The last color we have to talk about is a bit of a weird one, and that's Glitter Trans Light Blue. It's essentially the same as the Trans Light Blue crystal, but it's got like a little glittery effect, like there's little bits of glitter scattered about in there, and it looks quite nice. This has only appeared in a single set in 2015, and that set contains only one of the piece. And it's a Disney Frozen set, so, you know, maybe, I would imagine even if you're a massive fan of this piece, you're not going to pick that set up just for that. Just hop on Bricklink. Just hop on Bricklink. It ain't that expensive. I don't see myself getting this piece personally, but I don't know, it's kind of neat nonetheless. So yeah, that's a little look at every single color of this piece that's been produced, and I hope you enjoyed my totally normal and healthy obsession with this piece. And Power Miners as well. But like, you know, when else am I gonna get to fucking talk about Power Miners? I love them, they're great. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully we'll see more colors of this piece in the future. I'd love to see a trans purple one, maybe a trans black one actually. I think there's a lot you could do with that. Like, it'd be kind of like an obsidian color. I think you could maybe use it as smoke as well. I think that's a potentially cool idea, but we'll see how it goes. Either way, let me know if you enjoyed. I don't know if I'll do more shit like this in the future. Man, I really made a video just talking about one Lego piece on like a primarily fighting games and Pokemon based channel. Fuck am I doing?